Hewitt waiting in the middle! They've done it! Aberdeen have won the Cup Winners' Cup.
Simply that they are the finest team in Europe of 1983.
Driving forward, they're scoring!
Very good afternoon, welcome to RedTV and RedTV International from Pittodrie for this SPFL Premiership match between Aberdeen and Hibernian.
But the teams are out, we'll quickly run through them. For Aberdeen, Joe Lewis, Shea Logan, Graham Shinney, Andrew Considine, Anthony O'Connor, Kenny McLean, Adam Rooney, Gary Mackay-Stevens, Scott McKenna, Ryan Christie and Stevie May. On the bench, Danny Rogers, Mark Reynolds, Greg Stewart, Nicky Maynard, Scott Wright, Dominic Ball and Daniel Harvey. The Hibs side is Ophir Marciano, Paul Hanlon, Marvin Bartley, John McGinn, Dylan McGeoch, Simon Murray, Lewis Stevenson, Martin Boyle, Brandon Barker, Darren McGregor and Effie Ambrose. Their subs, the goalkeeper Maciek Dubrovski, Stephen Whittaker, Vikintas Slivka, Danny Swanson, Anthony Stokes, Ollie Shaw and Ryan Porteous. Match referee today is Bobby Madden.
Yeah, Bobby Madden back here at Pittodrie. Is it first time this season we've had Bobby Madden? I think it is, yeah.
I think it is. It's actually the 28th time he's been in charge of Aberdeen. We've won 18 of the previous 27 games and it's his 32nd time in charge of Hibs, so he knows both clubs very well. It's the fourth time, as I mentioned earlier, that he's been in charge of this fixture. The one time that it was up here, it was Aberdeen 0, Hibs 1. Akpo Soji.
That long ago?
Absolutely that long ago. It was 6 years ago. Then down at Easter Road we won 1-0 and 2-0, and the goal scorer on both occasions, the man we've just been talking about, Niall McGinn.
Very good.
You think that this is not carefully scripted, this pre-match build-up, don't you?
Graham Shinney just saying that he was feeling great when he came in, Andrew, so it means he's not on RedTV, but as you mentioned, he's only 2 bookings away from being back joining us.
And he'll be back for 2 weeks this time if he gets another couple of bookings. We're
about to get underway, so Andrew, take us through the first part of the first half, and it's Aberdeen against Hibs.
And Aberdeen playing from left to right. So Bobby Madden just waiting to give Dylan McGeoch the go-ahead, and off we go. And John McGinn, having learnt the lesson from the Scottish Cup semi-final, instead of trying to dribble through the Aberdeen defence, just knocks a long ball down the right hand side which goes out of play. So that's the 12 seconds gone. They've survived that. That's better than they did down at Hampden. Andy Considine returning to the starting 11 today, takes the throw in, headed away by Effie Ambrose. Hibs all in black today, Aberdeen in the traditional all red. So we've got green and white Santa hats on one side of the south stand, another side plenty of red and white, as McGeoch heads that one back to Hanlon, who clears up the park, but Kenny McLean's in there, knocks it out to the right, but Lewis Stevenson, the goal scorer in midweek, plays it forward. Barker flicks it on to Murray, gets it back again, infield it goes off McGinn, it comes back to Barker. Barker attacking the Aberdeen defence and forced to come back the way to Marvin Bartley. Bartley drives forwards, Stevie May just nudges him, and that will be the first free kick of the game to Hibernian.
For a big lad, he went down awful easily, didn't he?
He did. I think to be fair to him, he was knocked off balance by Stevie May and just lost his footing. But
I think was it Ryan Christie that caught him?
Caught him second.
Yeah.
Stevie got the shoulder on him first. But
Ryan did trip him, doing Marvin a disservice there.
Well, it's a free kick to Hibs, just about 15 yards from the byline on the left hand side. Barker whips it into the middle, it's cleared by Stevie May. A poor free kick, didn't get past the first defender. Bartley will bring that one under control on the halfway line, knocks it square to John McGinn. McGinn plays it down the left hand side. Barker tried to get onto it, but Anthony O'Connor was quickly across just to knock it out of play for the throw in. So a couple of minutes gone at a noisy Pittodrie, plenty of noise coming from the Hibs fans. Aberdeen fans still streaming into the ground. Looking around, I would guess the attendance round about the 12,000-ish mark at the moment.
It was 15 or so was expected, so still hopefully a few folk to come in. I don't think the road conditions have probably helped people keeping to time this morning.
Well, it's first corner kick of the game has been won by Hibs. It was Barker playing it off Shea Logan, and the first set piece opportunity for Darren McGregor and Effie Ambrose and Paul Hanlon to come up from the back. Simon Murray's quite tall as well. He's lined up on the edge of the 18-yard box as John McGinn will take the corner kick left-footed, swings it in, it's headed away by Kenny McLean, picked up on the far edge of the box by Murray, plays it back to Lewis Stevenson. Stevenson stabs it forward, and Martin Boyle claiming that the throw-in was for Hibs, but it came off him last, and danger averted. It wasn't a great corner kick.
It wasn't, but Hibs enjoyed certainly the lion's share of the opening 3 minutes. The ball's not been in the Hibs half other than when McGeer kicked off.
Absolutely not. Throw in taken down the line. Mackay Stephen flicks it infield, but foot up, says Bobby Madden. So once again Hibs will have the free kick. Apology given to Lewis Stevenson there by Gary Mackay Stephen.
Darren McGregor actually.
Is it? Oh, so it is. I did wonder why Stevenson was over on that side of the park. They look quite similar. The ball's played forward. It's a poor one, easily cut out by Scott McKenna, who's the poster boy in the programme today. He's the feature interview inside, and he's on the cover of the programme to celebrate that opening goal in his senior career for Aberdeen, at least. Last week at Dundee, that long ball's played forward, chested away by Logan, knocked back by Ryan Christie, and Joe Lewis will get his first touch of the ball 4 minutes in, despite the fact that Hibs have had the bulk of possession. They haven't got anywhere really close to Joe's goal, but here's Anthony O'Connor back into the right hand side of central defence, knocks it forward, and there Ryan Christie's penalised for making a back for Bartley to fly over, and I don't think too many of a Red persuasion were in agreement with that decision from Bobby Madden, but Ryan himself didn't complain too much about it. So it's a free kick to Hibs, which the skipper Paul Hanlon will take 15 yards inside the Hibs half, on the left side of the field. Knocks it long for Simon Murray. He flicks it infield, but there's nobody there. Maybe forgot that he's the lone striker today. He had Ollie Shaw and Anthony Stokes with him on Wednesday night, but they're on the bench today. But Aberdeen have possession once again. Ryan Christie feeds it back to Joe Lewis. Joe all in green today because Hibs are wearing their black strip, and that headed clearance goes all the way back through to Joe Lewis. He just bowls it out to Anthony O'Connor. Hibs operating a fairly high press. They've got Murray up front, then a bank of four, and not giving Aberdeen very much space to operate in. But here's Kenny McLean going over to the left hand side, and then Murray gets his foot in the ball and just knocks it out for a throw in. There's not a lot of space for Aberdeen to work in, Dave.
No, there's not, and they're finding it difficult to get the ball out of their own half at the moment. As you say, Hibs are pressing very high.
Considine nicks about 15 yards, gets the throw in down the line. Mackay Stephen flicks it infield, but it's away by McGregor, but out of play it goes. So a very scrappy, bitty start to the game. No flow to it so far.
No, it's not, and Hibs will be the happier of the two sides with the start.
Well, they've got possession of the ball again. It's Martin Boyle going for a run down the right hand side, cuts infield. Good play from the former Montrose man, but a good challenge there by Ryan Christie. Wins the ball, gives it to Graham Shinnie. Shinnie with the first chance to come forward, gives it to Stevie May. May brings it away from Hanlon, knocks it back to McLean, out to this near side, the Dons right to Shea Logan, but Barker closes him down, so it has to go back to Anthony O'Connor. O'Connor just looking for some movement ahead of him, crosses the halfway line. Still O'Connor, good burst this by the centre back, but then loses out to Bartley, and McGeoch picks up the ball for Hibs now, plays it infield. John McGinn, the main playmaker in the middle of the park, and that'll be offside against Simon Murray. He'd just gone too far forward. The Dons kept a good line, and here's the chance now for Gary Mackay Stephen to come forward, gives it to Rooney. Rooney to Ryan Christie. Christie stabs it back to Shinnie on the halfway line. Gets it. The two of them exchange passes, and then Shinnie finds Kenny McLean. McLean driving forward, out to the left hand side to Mackay-Steven. Chance to take on Ambrose, former teammates of course at Celtic, and that's a throw into the Dons, 10 yards from the corner flag, and the first time we've been that far up the park.
It is indeed, and
it's taken us 7.5 minutes to get there.
It has been. Hopefully that'll change now.
As Considine drives in across, and it comes off Ambrose, out of play for another throw in to the Dons over on that far side. Plenty of bodies in the box. Considine throws it short though to Kenny McLean. McLean gets it back to Considine, but weight of numbers beats the Dons fullback. McKenna will knock it back towards the Hibernian area. Stevie May seemed to take a bang there when he went for that ball with Bartley, but he's okay, I think. McGinn, his attempted crossfield ball is closed down, and it's Mackay-Steven gets the better of McGinn. Good play by the Dons winger.
Nice wee nutmeg there on McGinn.
Yeah, he'll enjoy that, I'm sure. Takes the throw in, then gets it back from Ryan Christie. A chance to get a ball into the area, but it was a fairly late challenge on GMS as he crossed that ball, but Bobby Madden sees nothing amiss. Doesn't notice that he's gone about 10 yards beyond the byline. It's Bartley clattered into him, but nothing doing. But Aberdeen have the ball once again. McLean over on the far side, knocks it infield. Shinnie, Bartley shadowing him, plays it back to McLean again. Forward it goes, but Ambrose will get in there with the header, but McLean picks it up and then loses out to Murray. Now John McGinn on the right side gives it to Dylan McGeoch, one of the unsung heroes really of the Hibs side. Scorer of course in that semi-final against the Dons down at Hampden.
Yeah, he's a good player, McGeoch.
Yeah, he's done well. Just needed games, I think, to be honest. But here's Hanlon coming forward, plays it into midfield to Simon Murray. Murray across to McGinn, but McGinn through challenge from Christie, and there Kenny McLean saw Ofer Marciano off his line and tried the long distance shot, but it drifts wide of the post, and McGinn took a knock there as Christie went in.
Yeah, he's struggling a wee bit, and he's such an important player for Hibs that would be a real blow if he
I think he's just winded rather than anything else, because I think he landed on top of Ryan Christie's leg when he lost the ball, but he's going to be okay to continue. But as you say, a very important cog in the Hibernian wheel, John McGinn, Scotland international of course. Someone who should be a Scotland international. Graham Shinnie heads it forward. It's turned away by Hibs, and Stevenson will play it long, looking for the run of Barker. Shea Logan across there, wins the ball off Barker, and Christie gets in there, does well, beats a couple of Hibs men, gives it to Adam Rooney. Nice ball down the channel, but too far in front of Stevie May and Marciano, who could have picked that up.
I know, why
did he not pick that ball up? He knocks it out of play for a throw-in. That's maybe a sign of lack of confidence, but unless he thought, if I'm coming out so quickly, if I pick it up my momentum could take me out of the area. But
I don't think so.
A bizarre decision by the Hibs goalkeeper. Aberdeen have the ball, good driven ball across to the far side, and here's Shinnie coming in. Goal! And that all came about from Marciano's mistake, and the Dons took the throw in. Kenny McLean played a great ball over to the far side, a first time ball into the middle from Graham Shinnie. The 11th minute of the game, Shinnie's second of the season. Aberdeen 1, Hibernian 0.
What a well worked goal as well. I mean, great ball across to Gary Mackay-Steven, who hit it first time back into the middle, and just watching it again, and as you say, if all stemmed from Marciano knocking that ball out. Great ball from Kenny McLean.
That's a superb ball.
Yeah, from Gary, and then great finish.
A striker's finish, you would say, from Graham Shinnie.
Well, he's been. We saw it in Dundee last week. He's been desperate to get his first domestic goal.
Well, he said to us when he came in he was feeling good. He's going to be feeling even better now. And if he thinks he's not going to be on RedTV today, he will be afterwards, because he'll want to tell us all about his goal.
Indeed.
He loves talking about when he scores goals. But perfect start for Aberdeen. after Hibs being in the ascendancy in the opening 10 minutes of the game. First really meaningful attack, and Aberdeen scored, but questions have to be asked of that decision from the goalkeeper to knock the ball out for a throw-in.
And if he's got low in confidence before, that won't have done any good at all for him.
Well, I'm quite sure his manager will have something to say about that. But here come Hibs once again, and it's McGinn knocks it back to Bartley, and Shinnie snapping into the tackles. Hanlon now square to Darren McGregor, and nobody tracked Graham Shinnie's run through the middle, through the middle of the park. It's Ambrose being put under pressure by Gary Mackay-Stephen, but does well, comes out of defence, but that's a loose ball to Bartley, who does well to retrieve the situation.
No, good press. Aberdeen are doing to Hibs what Hibs were doing to Aberdeen in the first few minutes.
Well, you can see that the confidence is high after getting that goal, and well, here's Hibs trying to break forward again, but O'Connor should read that and does, gets it back to Lewis before Simon Murray, and Big Joe rather sliced the ball, and then O'Connor, well, it was all meant, because we've come out of that nicely, and Ryan Christie's got a wee bit of space to operate on the right hand side as he moves into the Hibs half and hits the long diagonal looking for the run of GMS, but that's just a wee bit too strong for him. But he put Ambrose under enough pressure that his clearance isn't a great one, and Andy Considine does well there against Boyle, wins the ball, gives it to Mackay-Stephen. Gary Mackay-Stephen back to Considine. McLean, nice ball in round the corner to Christie, tried to feed it off to May but just got it wrong, and Bartley steps in. Now McGeoch for Hibs, a little burst away from midfield, but Shinnie does well tracking him back, and then wins the ball, gives it to Christie. Christie now to Stevie May, couldn't see for the pillar there. Ambrose across to Barker. It's all a bit frenetic.
It is.
But it's good to watch as Barker drives forward. Still Barker. Cuts inside, and O'Connor does well there. Slides in to make the challenge, knocks it off Barker. The ball goes behind for the goal kick. But Brandon Barker, a dangerous looking customer, and I think Shea Logan is just saying to Ryan Christie, you know, I'm maybe going to need a wee bit of help at times when he gets on the ball.
Yeah.
Both of them, of course, former Manchester City men. Well, Barker's on loan from City, but Shea, being a dyed-in-the-wool Manchester City fan, possibly knows him.
Possibly. Neil Lennon was saying beforehand that he doesn't expect to get 90 minutes out of Barker this afternoon.
I hope he doesn't. Not the way he started the game. Hanlon all over the back of Rooney, nothing given there by the referee, but the ball breaks Aberdeen's way, and it's the goal scorer Graham Shinnie in midfield, turns away from McGinn, slips it into the path of Hayes, but Hibs win the challenge. And then Rooney tracking back, gets in ahead of McGinn. McLean plays it over to that far side. Mackay-Stephen, instant control in the chest, knocks it back to Considine. 15 minutes gone here at Pittodrie. It's Aberdeen 1, Hibs 0. Graham Shinnie in the 11th minute opening the scoring, and here he is driving forward, the Aberdeen captain. Still Shinnie, he's thinking about the shot, he takes the shot, and it wasn't all that far wide. Appeals that there was a nudge on it, or a deflection on it from a Hibs defender, but he's in the mood.
He certainly is in the mood, yeah.
Did well to hold off McGeoch, took the shot, but
it's quite a distance away, wasn't you?
6 yards wide on that occasion. He won't talk about that one.
No.
But it's good to see he's driving it into dangerous areas from midfield, and well, it was the sort of run that Johnny Hayes used to make, and Adam Rooney always used to say when Johnny made those runs, you got yourself in towards the far post because Johnny would shank the ball across goal and you had a tap in.
Yeah.
But here's Ryan Christie, he's capable of hitting one from 20 yards, knocks it infield. Stevie May with a chance, the instant shot just goes wide of the posts, and the centre of that Hibs defence not looking just too watertight at the moment.
No, they certainly aren't, and Stevie May didn't have too much time to think about that one because he had to really just take it first time, and well, it wasn't on target, but it was a good effort nonetheless.
Yeah, it is a back four I think that Hibs are playing. When defensively they drop into a four with Ambrose
playing right back
and
at the moment,
Stevenson left back with McGregor and Hanlon the central defenders, but there's a soft area through the centre there that I think the Dons will look to exploit. Here comes Gary Mackay-Stephen, great run, but then Hanlon just did enough to stop him there. But another player who looks right up for this one. He's had a very bright opening period, GMS, and
great defending by Considine.
Considine doing really well there, yep. Now Shinnie gets onto the ball, square it goes to Anthony O'Connor. Of course, RedTV International subscribers are getting pictures as well as our words today. Back in the UK and Ireland it's audio only, but of course we'll be getting the full match replay up as soon as contractually we're allowed to, plus all the post-match reaction from the manager and a couple of players as the ball's back with Ofer Marciano. The Hibs goalkeeper, right-footed, knocks it long, looking for Martin Boyle, but Considine wins that comfortably, heads it into the path of Mackay-Stephen. He knocks it infield to Shinnie. Shinnie, under pressure from McGeoch, goes back to Scott McKenna. He knocks it long, looking for Stevie May, but McGregor's there to head it out towards the wing. Ambrose hooks it forward, but O'Connor's there, just heads it comfortably back to Joe Lewis. And so far you'd say the Dons defence has handled anything that Hibs have thrown at them fairly comfortably.
Yeah, they have. They're certainly looking a lot more solid than their counterparts in black.
Rooney tries to lay that ball off, but it breaks into the path of Boyle, but he's quickly tackled by Considine. Hibs have possession. Hanlon in the centre circle, moving forward, feeds it into the path of Murray. Murray, two Aberdeen men after him, and Shinnie got the toe in to get the ball to Ryan Christie. Aberdeen just look hungrier than Hibs at the moment as Mackay-Stephen drives forward down the right hand side. He's got Christie outside him, that's where it goes. Christie plays it into the middle, Rooney with a shot, it breaks off Hanlon into the path of Shinnie. It rebounded off Graham Shinnie, and Marciano grateful to fall on that ball. But every time the Dons go down the left hand side there's danger, isn't there?
Yeah, you compare the confidence that the Dons are playing with just a few weeks ago, and again during the time of the uncertainty as to what was happening with the manager, there's no doubt it certainly
had an
impact.
There's no question whatsoever about it, and it's great to see that now that everything's settled, that we're back to being the Aberdeen that we know. And well, it's the first time really this group of players are showing the form that we all hoped and believed that they were capable of.
Absolutely.
It's McGeoch on the ball for Hibs at the moment, just inside the Aberdeen half. They're not getting any time or space to move into. It's Martin Boyle again, quickly challenged by Considine, and then a loose ball forward turned away by McKenna, neatly played into the path of Shinnie by Mackay-Stephen, but Shinnie's ball out to Considine, just runs away for a throw in to the Hibees. And it's Effie Ambrose will take it, gets it back from McGeoch. McGeoch once again on it. Now Darren McGregor in field to Hanlon. Hanlon and Andy Considine and Lewis Stevenson, the only three players who were involved in that game when Soji scored the winner for Hibs back in the 9th of April 2011, the first time Bobby Madden refereed this fixture, and the only previous time he's done it at Pittodrie, so that was the first home goal that he's seen scored in any of the four Aberdeen Hibs games that he's refereed.
Oh well, that's a good stat that hopefully
nobody will ever use that one.
Yeah,
Dave.
no, nobody else will ever know that.
Useless information.
Totally.
Joe Lewis on the ball. 20 minutes have come and gone, and it's been a good 20 for the home side. The lead by a goal to nil. Graham Shinnie converting a lovely cushioned volleyed assist from Gary Mackay-Stephen in the 11th minute. Throw in taken by Logan. O'Connor just plays it all the way back to Joe Lewis. O'Connor just assesses the options forward and then drills it long down the channel looking for the run of Stevie May, but McGregor and Hanlon block off that avenue forward. The clearance is headed forward, but McLean's there to knock it up in the air. Logan infield, Shinnie knocks it on, but Hibs pick it up, and McGeoch back to McGregor, hurried ball forward, but Barker does well, heads it infield, but Christie's read that one well and just ushers it out of play for the throw in to the Dons down in front of the technical areas.
Ryan Christie looks in the mood as well today.
He does, yeah.
That said, he normally does.
He does, but he did have a quiet spell after the international cap that he won here against the Netherlands, and I'm sure he was as unsettled by the uncertainty about Derek McInnes, because he said so often that Derek is the reason why he came to Aberdeen.
Absolutely, and he's not alone. You could name
just
probably
about all of
dozen,
them. Just about all of them out there, I think, Dave, to be perfectly honest. But it's a free kick to the Dons. It was a softish kind of foul, but we'll take it. It's just down in front of us as we'll look out of the main stand, and it's Christie and May over the ball on the Aberdeen right. May leaves it for Christie to swing into the middle, but it's headed away by the first defender, Dylan McGeoch. But Kenny McLean's up there, it's headed away again, but McLean will get there ahead of McGeoch. Knocks it out to this near side. Christie brings it under control, turns away from Barker, and then goes over the trailing leg of Brandon Barker. That will be another free kick just about 10 yards further back from where the previous one was taken, and the Dons will be looking for a better delivery this time as we reach the midway point in the first half. So Dave, I'll let you take us through to the interval with the scoreline at the moment. Aberdeen 1, Hibs 0.
It's going to be Ryan Christie with the trusty left foot. Over it comes from Christie. It's away by McGregor, but only as far as Kenny McLean, who tries a shot, comes off the head of Hanlon. Dons back in possession with Gary Mackay-Steven, right footed, plays it forward. Hanlon heads it to McGinn. McGinn switches it out to Boyle, who's in a bit of space down the right, but great play by Andy Considine just to stick in the foot and finds Gary Mackay-Steven, who comes forward, but doesn't get past Bartley. And now here's Boyle. Boyle just goes over, and that'll be an Aberdeen throw. Andy just did enough there with the attempted tackle, which missed, but it forced Boyle to hit that ball a wee bit harder than he would have liked to. So
good player, Martin Boyle. I think he's from Aberdeen, isn't he?
Yeah, he trained
trained with us
Aberdeen
for a while. He's played for Montrose, of course.
Throw in, that's surely a handball by McGregor, but nope. Everybody other than Bobby Madden and his assistant saw it, and that ball all the way back to Hanlon. Hanlon plays it back to Marciano. Marciano then knocks it out to Lewis Stevenson.
Wonder if Neil Lennon thought that was unacceptable, not picking up that handball.
Yeah, and then balls all the way back, and Joe Lewis and Anthony O'Connor in a bit of a miscommunication there. Each left it to the other. Eventually O'Connor knocks it into touch, and it's a throw in.
He did the right
Hibs.
thing. You could see that there was a confusion between the two of them, but Anthony did absolutely the right thing, just cleared the ball into the stand.
Here's McGinn with right foot, and that goes all the way out for a throw in to the Dons over on the far side.
Well, the shot was from about 20 yards, and the throw in is about 18 yards up the left hand touchline. That shows how wild that effort was.
Yeah, a snap effort that John McGinn probably wishes that he hadn't bothered with. Considine,
he hasn't been in the game at all.
No, he hasn't. Mackay-Steven tries to get the head on that, but it's Boyle for Hibs, but the ball should break to O'Connor, who knocks it back to Joe Lewis. Simon Murray rushing in, but Lewis plenty of time to knock it high. Stevenson, but Shea Logan gets there. Stevenson back, Logan again to Christie. Christie plays it back to Shea Logan, comes forward, and here's still Shea Logan, tries a shot, but gets that one all wrong. And it was Darren McGregor who misjudged the flight of the ball completely there, and allowed, at least I think it was McGregor. Yeah, it was McGregor.
Yeah.
He just missed it completely.
Again, it's through the centre of that Hibs defence. There's a glaring weakness in there, and unfortunately Shea just, unlike Shea, because he's usually pretty good when he gets in our goal, he just had a wee bit of a nosebleed, and they shanked it way wide of the post.
25.5 minutes gone. Aberdeen 1, Hibs 0. Goal kick away by O'Connor, but that's out of play. Throw into Hibs just down in front of us. Lewis Stevenson, scorer on Wednesday evening against Rangers. He'll,
with his right foot as well.
Yeah, the opening goal.
Did take a big deflection off Bruno Alves though.
Yeah. Murray fighting for the ball. McGinn manages to get away with it. Then Boyle plays it to Barker. He's going to try a shot from distance, and well, that was travelling at pace. It was comfortably saved by Joe Lewis, but you'd have seen many keepers not manage to catch that at the first attempt.
It was a harder save than Joe made it look. He made it look extremely easy, but it was an excellent hit from Brandon Barker.
Logan's pass just a wee bit misplaced, and John McGinn nipped in. The ball came off McGinn last, and that would be a throw-in down to our left for Aberdeen. Lead by the 1 goal, scored by skipper Graham Shinney. back in the 11th minute.
Down south it's Leicester City 0, Crystal Palace 1. Christian Benteke scoring the goal there.
Well, he's managed to redeem himself a wee bit. That was, I think that was Stevie May used a hand there and protesting his innocence, but Alistair Mather spotted that. Here's Effie Ambrose coming forward, plays it out to Stevenson. Stevenson wide left, ball forward, headed away by O'Connor, out for another Hibs throw. Stevenson will take it again. Bright sunshine, but still rather nippy. Stevenson infield to Barker, but he's dispossessed by Kenny McLean, who touches the ball to Mackay-Steven. Tried to get the ball back to McLean, but Ambrose was in the way. But Considine now plays it out to McLean, wide on the left. Back to Considine, but can't keep that one in play, and that will be a Hibs throw. And I'm sure Effie Ambrose is due an Effie moment sometime soon.
Well, you would think so. He's been playing pretty well in recent weeks, but he's finding Gary Mackay-Steven quite a hot handful.
Well, there's another ball that almost McGeer played it to Rooney, but couldn't control it, and Hibs retain possession. Tried to play the ball forward. Murray for Boyle. It came off Considine. That's a throw for Hibs, which Ambrose will take. 28 and a half gone. Ambrose to McGeoch. McGeoch forward for Boyle. Considine got there first. It's a right old battle which Boyle comes off at Mackay-Steven back helping out, and Considine back to lend his assistance, and eventually Mackay-Stevens gets it but forward to Stevie May, who does well, and then is held back by Darren McGregor. Well,
that's a blatant obstruction from Darren McGregor there, and how Bobby Madden rules that's not.
Ball forward. Here's Martin Boyle into the middle, off O'Connor, corner kick for Hibs, and Bobby Madden getting the bird quite understandably from the crowd.
Well, we're seeing the replay here.
Knew exactly what he was doing.
That's a foul every day of the week, but not on a Saturday at 1 o'clock in Aberdeen, apparently.
John McGinn is going to take the corner from the Hibs right, left-footed in swinger, and it comes and it's behind by Stevie May.
I'm glad he got enough of a head on that.
Exactly what he was doing.
That was a ponytail, I think, that got that one behind. But again, it's not a great corner because Stevie was standing just about the edge of the 6-yard box and first defender, and John McGinn's capable of much better than that.
Hibs' third corner, and Bobby Madden wants a word with a couple of players first of all.
Well, it's Bobby Madden, remember, that was given penalties all over the shop for
that didn't last
pulling
though,
and tugging in the box.
Didn't even last till the end of August.
GMS, I think, has got blood. He's taken a bang to the mouth, and that's why the delay is, because he's going to have to get the blood wiped off, and so Don's down to 10 temporarily. Corner
kick comes over from McGinn. It's away by Scott McKenna. Hibs get it back. McGeer takes the ball from Stevenson. Back out to Barker. Barker gets the ball in, doesn't beat Shinnie, and Christie picks up the ball for Aberdeen. Christie goes forward. He looked as though he was caught there, and McGeer goes down from a... That was never a foul. That was totally accidental from Adam Rooney.
That's poor refereeing from Bobby Madden, because he saw what happened there. Adams running out of defence and Dylan McGeer crashed into him. That's not a foul.
He's not having the best of halves, as the man in turquoise. Gary Mackay-Steven has re-entered the fray, and the game will continue with a free kick, soft free kick for Hibs, which McGinn takes, plays it long, and the ball goes past the post. It was Hanlon eventually with the header. It was a good free kick.
Yeah, because it picked out Darren McGregor at the back post, who knocked it inside, and Hanlon threw himself at it. Unfortunately for the Dons, the header went past the post. He actually got slightly underneath it. I think he advanced just a wee bit too quickly towards it, but it was a decent free kick, obviously one that they've worked on in the training ground, and it very nearly came off.
Yeah, it's a cut lip that Gary's got. He's looking a bit like Mick Jagger at the moment. as the goal kick.
He had one or two too many Mick Jaggers, did he not, down in Glasgow a few
We'll
months
gloss
back?
over that one, thank you.
Swim past that.
Yes, indeed. Ball forward, away by Darren McGregor, over the head of Martin Boyle. O'Connor should be there. He does, hooks the ball over his shoulder, but it's a loose ball picked up by McGeoch, who's immediately tackled by Shinnie. Shinnie gets the ball out to Christie. Christie back, great ball back to Graham Shinnie. Mackay Stevens free in the left, but Shinnie tries a shot and caught by Marciano at the second attempt. And that was another good effort on target by the captain.
Yeah, he's doing well, Graham. He had Gary Mackay-Steven wide to the left, but quite right to take on the shot, and Marciano did well to bring the ball in after spilling it initially, but he didn't let it run away from him. Otherwise Stevie May was in on top of him.
Here's McGeoch for Hibs. Great challenge by Ryan Christie, and he almost finds Stevie May, but McGregor gets a foot in there. Now McGinn for Hibs. It's all pretty open here. Forward to Martin Boyle. Boyle back to McGeoch. McGeoch out to Stevenson. Stevenson inside to Boyle. Stevenson and McGeoch. Back to Lewis Stevenson on his left foot. Gets a cross in, and that's very easy for Joe Lewis, and he can do that all afternoon.
It's uncanny how when you see a ball like that go into the box, you just think Joe's just going to take that like taking an apple off a tree.
Indeed.
It's so easy for him, and he's so unflustered. Sometimes you see goalies coming for balls and you think, oh, you know, is he going to get there, is he not? Joe, every time.
Yep. Hibs in possession. They trail by that Graham Shinnie goal at the moment. McGregor across to Hanlon. Back to Darren McGregor. McGregor comes forward for Hibs. Plays it long. O'Connor underneath it, heads it away and finds Shinnie. Shinnie forward looking for Stevie May, but McGregor gets the head there. Then Bartley back to Hanlon, the captain. Bartley, well, he diddly-dallied and allowed Stevie May to nick the ball, but Graham Shinnie shows too much of it to McGinn. McGinn comes forward. That's a great challenge, but oh, for goodness sake, Madden!
No wonder Graham Shinnie is going nuts at Bobby Madden. Madden saying that he pulled his jumper, he didn't.
No.
He got in there, he won the ball clean as a whistle. Again, it's just not a free kick. That one is.
Yeah.
Kenny McLean on Brandon Barker.
I think that was just out of frustration.
Yeah, but no, he's had a real curate's egg of a performance.
Here's Barker, but cleared by O'Connor, looking for Stevie May, but away by McGregor. Then Kenny McLean knocks it back up the park, picked up by Paul Hanlon. Forward to McGinn, who knocks it back to Marciano. Now McGregor to McGeoch. McGeoch to Barker in a bit of space, but challenged well by Graham Shinnie. And now here's Ryan Christie. Christie forward at pace. Still Ryan Christie. Nice ball, just got to Graham Shinnie.
That ooh from the crowd was thinking, oh, he's giving it away, but no.
Considine into Mackay-Steven. Mackay-Steven gets away from the two challenges, and then it's in there! Gary Mackay-Steven! With his third goal of the season, his second against Hibernian. 35.5 minutes played, Aberdeen 2, Hibs 0.
It took an awful long time to go in, didn't it? I mean, it took a deflection and it just sort of spun up a wee bit. Graham Shinnie knocks it out to Considine. Considine feeds it infield. He gets the better of a couple of defenders, and then, well, it hit the goalkeeper, who deflected it onto the post, and then it spun so gently off the inside of the post.
Andy Considine with a good ball in as well.
And over the line into the back of the net, and well, 2-0 to the Dons, and the way they're defending, they're looking pretty comfortable.
I don't think Neil Lennon will be too happy with Marciano there again.
No. It did take a deflection, but again, the keeper has committed himself one way, and then he's stuck when it goes the other way. Yeah,
so Gary Mackay-Steven with a good afternoon's work so far, with an assist and a goal.
And a bang in the lip.
And a bang in the lip, but she won't be bothered about, I'm quite sure.
But he has played well, Mackay-Steven, there's no question about that. He fancies his chances against Ambrose down that right hand side. He's seen plenty of the ball, and his confidence will be lifted even more by getting that goal, because that's his first goal here at Pittodrie in a red shirt, because his previous two, Easter Road and out in Bosnia.
Yeah. Andy Considine with the throw for Aberdeen, headed by Ambrose, picked up by McGinn under pressure from Shinnie, knocks it back to Hanlon. Hanlon out to Stevenson, back into Bartley. McGeoch, Bartley. Barker will have to chase to get that one. He does. Finds Lewis Stevenson. Now Paul Hanlon switches it, but Mackay-Steven intercepts with the head, but out of play. Hibs throw.
The manager's going to be absolutely delighted with his team showing in this first half, because although Hibs started the game the brighter, once we got the goal, we've really dominated and we've been quick into the tackle, and we've given the creative players on the Hibs side no touch of the ball, really.
Great ball from Mackay-Steven, finds Christie wide on the left for Aberdeen, cuts inside. Still Ryan Christie, finds Shinnie, across to Logan. Shea Logan goes past Stevenson, cuts inside and then forgets the ball, but gets the break of it, tries a left foot shot, takes a deflection, and that will go behind for the first Aberdeen corner of the match.
Yeah, Hibs lead 3-1 in corners, but Aberdeen lead by 2-0, and Shea is starting to look more like the Shea of old in the last few games. He's getting onto the ball in attacking positions much more, and okay, it was a defensive error that let him in there, but it's an added weapon in Aberdeen's armoury.
Well, it's going to be that unlikely corner taker, Anthony O'Connor again. We saw this before, remember?
Yeah. You sometimes wonder, is he not better adding his physical presence in the box? But let's see what the delivery's like.
Must be one from the training ground. O'Connor with the corner right, and it is one from the training ground. Finds Kenny McLean at the edge of the box, tries a shot, pulls it wide, but very much one that they've been practicing on. Yeah,
and it was a good delivery because he picked out Kenny McLean really well. Kenny had time to take a touch, get the ball down, and the shot wasn't that far wide.
And again, it's a move that you try when you know there's a goalkeeper in the opposition that's not high in confidence.
And it's a move that you try when you and your own teammates are full of confidence. Indeed. Dave, when your confidence is low, you just keep everything as simple as possible.
It's a throw in for Aberdeen over on the far side as we head towards the last 5 minutes. And just down the line it goes, comes off Ambrose. Christie's in there and allows the ball to go out for another Aberdeen throw, this time midway inside the Hibs half.
You know, I think sometimes you look at Ryan Christie and think he's quite a slight figure, he's not very strong, but he is very, very strong. You saw him the way he held off Marvin Bartley there. He's a powerful character for such a slight build.
Well, O'Connor takes a bit of a dangerous pass from Scott McKenna, who gets away with it. He plays the ball off Barker and it goes out for an Aberdeen throw. But O'Connor took that pass with 3 black jerseys surrounding him.
Well, you just don't want to take any chances between now and the interval. You want to get into half time with a 2-goal lead or better. You certainly don't want to be giving Hibs any encouragement ahead of the second half, because they're being given a football lesson by Aberdeen today.
Yep, so far so good. 2-0, 41 minutes played. Kenny McLean knocks that ball high, away by McGregor, only as far as Considine. He touches the ball to Shinnie, gets it back again inside to McLean, who runs into John McGinn. McGinn gets forward looking for Murray, but good defending by Scott McKenna just to knock that ball out of play.
Yeah, the two ex-St Mirren players, ex-teammates of course, the 2 number 7s, McLean and McGinn there.
Mackay-Steven just clatters into Dylan McGeoch, free kick to Hibs, and it's a free kick. Another potentially dangerous position if the delivery is a good one. It's just about 15-20 yards inside the Aberdeen half. It's going to be John McGinn to take it. Over it goes for McGinn, but again, you've got a 6'5" goalkeeper in Joe Lewis, so you hit the free kick straight to him.
Well, you deliver it into the 6-yard box where there are no Hibs players. It's just a wasted delivery.
Here's Logan. Knocks it back to O'Connor. In turn back to Joe Lewis, who plays it up the park. Headed away by Darren McGregor. Murray still coming back from an offside position, and that ball runs all the way through to Joe Lewis. 42 minutes played, and at the moment Aberdeen very comfortable. Lewis plays it forward. Adam Rooney penalised this time, and it certainly wasn't there where John McGinn took the... You get some referees that are so pedantic, and you get others like there. Bobby Madden just allowed the kick to be taken totally in the wrong position. Here's Ambrose.
Although I think, Dave, when it's 10 yards inside the opposition's half, you're not too worried about that. You'd rather see the game flow. But I agree, some of them, you know, for free kicks almost back, and you know, a goalkeeper taking one in his own box, and they're so pernickety, it's got to be moved 6 inches this way or that.
Hanlon heading clear. Back it comes with interest from Anthony O'Connor. Be picked up by McGregor, who heads it out to his right. Effie Ambrose inside to Bartley, and McGregor to Hanlon. Hibs playing their way out of trouble at the back there. Hanlon forward to Boyle, immediately challenged by Shea Logan, but picked up by John McGinn. He plays it back to Hanlon. McGeoch. Hanlon. Cross to McGregor. Now Ambrose. Bartley. McGinn. Hibs enjoying a rare bit of possession.
Yeah, but it's possession that's going nowhere.
No, it isn't. It's like they did early in the game, very early in the game. Here's Hanlon coming forward. Headed away by O'Connor. McGeoch. Hanlon again. Darren McGregor. If Ambrose says, fine, I'll get it, but he's nipped in. Gary Mackay-Steven. Gary Mackay-Steven coming forward. He's 1-on-1 with Marciano.
Yes!
Well, we said there was an Effie Ambrose moment to come. There it was. Gary Mackay-Steven nips it off him. 1-on-1 with the keeper. Slots the ball into the net. 44 minutes. Gary Mackay-Steven with his second. It's Aberdeen 3, Hibs 0.
Wonderful goal, wonderful anticipation from Gary Mackay-Steven first and foremost, to see that Effie Ambrose was going to play that slack pass, but then it's all about his pace. You know, what's Ambrose? He just knocks it. He didn't knock it, he just got caught in possession. Yep. But then it's all about getting away from McGregor and Ambrose. Excellent. And then the finish. Coolness to draw him off there, Marciano, and just slot the ball past the keeper's left hand. 3-0.
One Effie Ambrose is the cry. But the irony was that Effie had held up his hand to say to Darren McGregor, I've got this under control. Exactly,
and he didn't. He was.
Sorry,
I don't think he was aware of the fact that Mackay-Steven was so close to him. But
obviously not.
But wonderful finish from GMS. So he's on a hat trick.
He is indeed. Was that 1 minute of stoppage time? Was it
1 minute of stoppage time? Yes. Well, I don't think anybody expected a half-time scoreline to be looking the way it is.
Gary Mackay-Steven tries to get past Ambrose. Ambrose gets the ball this time, gets it into the middle, headed away nicely by McKenna, and then Rooney doesn't clear it, and then that's a great save. John McGinn with the snapshot from outside the area, and Joe Lewis down to his left knocks the ball wide for a corner kick.
Yeah, Rooney didn't get a hold of the clearance at all, and that is a magnificent save from Big Joe, because that was creeping into the bottom left-hand corner.
Corner kick taken by McGinn and over the bar. No, it's still in play, but it's cleared to Graham Shinnie as a half-time whistle goes. And well, after a nervy first 5-7 minutes or so, I think for the rest of that first half, that's as good as we've had this season.
I was just going to say, Dave, that's been the best 45 minutes we've seen from Aberdeen all campaign. Everything you wanted from them. solid in defence. The goalkeeper's made a superb save right at the end of the half there. But 3 goals, clinical going forwards. There's been nothing remotely like a half chance that we've missed. Graham Shinney opened the scoring in the 11th minute. It was a lovely crossfield ball from Kenny McLean. Beautiful cushioned layoff from Gary Mackay-Stephen. What a half he's had, into the path of Graham Shinney, who slots the ball past the goalkeeper Marciano. Then Gary Mackay-Stephen gets in. A nice ball played in by Andy Considine for him. Held off a couple of defenders, knocks it off the keeper, off the post, into the back of the net, and then takes advantage of Ify Ambrose being caught dwelling in the ball. Mackay-Stephen robbed him, raced away from both Ambrose and McGregor, and then slotted it so coolly past Ofer Marciano to give a half-time scoreline of Aberdeen 3, Hibs 0. And you know, I don't think it's any less than Aberdeen deserve, because they've been so much on top since they scored the goal. They've been snapping into tackles, they've been giving Hibs no time whatsoever to play. Barker and Boyle have tried their hardest down the sides, but they're getting no change out of Considine or Logan. In the middle of the park, John McGinn is working hard, but again, Graham Shinney, Kenny McLean, so dominant in there. And then GMS, well, what can you say? He's just had the dream 45 minutes and a bang in the mouth that you'll remember as well. So it's been just the perfect first half, I would suggest, for Aberdeen.
Indeed it has been, and a full second half commentary of course to come in just over 10 minutes time. But for the moment we'll leave you with that half-time score once again here at Pittodrie. It's Aberdeen 3, Hibernian 0.
Hi everyone, over the past few weeks you have all rallied behind AFC and Aberdeen Football Club's Community Trust's efforts to support the community through food deliveries in conjunction with Community Food Initiatives North East and welfare calls to vulnerable supporters at risk of social isolation. I'm delighted to confirm that thanks to your fantastic efforts we've reached the fundraising milestone of £62,500, which is halfway towards our £125,000 target. That means over 2,500 of you have put your faith in our club and bought season tickets, which given the current circumstances we're in, is phenomenal backing. I have no doubt we'll reach our goal of 5,000 season tickets by the end of the month. These funds will enable the Trust to continue its vital deliveries of food and essentials to those in need, and in partnership with the club deliver its mass outreach programme to take care and tackle social isolation. On behalf of everyone at our club, my players and staff, thank you. It's times like these we all need to come together as one, and as a manager I'm so proud to see us leading the way and looking after each other. Take care, still standing free.
Hi, it's Rachel Corsi here. I'm in Utah right now, but my heart is very much in Aberdeen. And I'm extremely proud of what Aberdeen Football Club is doing to support the fans and the wider community during this really difficult time. The Still Standing Free campaign has really captured the spirit and soul of the club, bringing the Aberdeen family together to support each other as one. The phone calls from the players have been particularly inspiring, and it's great to see the positive impact they have had. Whilst it's really difficult to not have football in our lives right now, Aberdeen Football Club is doing all it can to fill that gap, and we'd encourage you all to support in whatever way you can. Whether that's buying season tickets or donating to the Trust itself, we all can fight through this battle together and come out stronger. Stay safe. Stand free.
I didn't think Bartley did too badly, but Stokes coming on is obviously a tactical switch.
Well, Whittaker's not exactly the quickest in 2 legs.
He's not, but Stokes will play up front where Bartley was sitting in midfield, so I think it sends the message that Neil Lennon is going to try and push and try and get a goal, and as we said, get a foothold in the game, get something to build on.
It's also going to leave gaps that with the pace that Aberdeen have got, they can hopefully exploit. But we're about to get the second half underway. Take us through the first half of the second half, Andrew.
Well, we're underway once again. Kenny McLean plays it over to the right hand side. Rooney wins the header, knocks it infield, but Ambrose brings it down, gives it to John McGinn, turns away from Rooney and then loses out to Kenny McLean, but that's out of play for the throw-in. So Aberdeen: Lewis, Logan, Considine, O'Connor, McKenna, Shinney, McLean, Christie, Mackay, Stephen, May and Rooney. Hibs, Marciano, Hanlon, Stokes, McGinn, McGeoch, Murray, Stevenson, Boyle, Barker, Whittaker and Ambrose. The 2 changes at half time, Whittaker and Stokes for McGregor and Bartley. It's a throw in to Aberdeen over on the far side. Shea Logan, who had a good first half, did his defensive duties well, got forward an occasion as well and added his threat moving forward. Took the throw in, but Hibs have it. Stokes plays it infield to Murray, but then Murray's attempted ball back to Stokes. It goes behind the former Celtic man, and that will be a throw in to Aberdeen. Haven't had an attendance yet, Dave. Have you had
not
a message?
So I will double check.
But a pretty healthy attendance here. Good away support. And they've stuck around to support their team even though they're 3-0 down.
14,923, including 12,17 from Edinburgh.
Well, that's probably the biggest away support out with Rangers and Celtic that we've had here. So it's good to see a club of the stature of Hibs back in the top flight, particularly when you're 3-0 up at half time against them.
Indeed, you can be fairly magnanimous in that position.
Yes, you can. Well, ball was played forward looking for Mackay-Steven, but goes over his head and out of play for a throw in. It's Stephen Whittaker, former Norwich and Rangers player, back for a second spell at Easter Road. Takes it short to Stokes, gets it back again, knocks the ball long forward, but it's too long for anybody in a black shirt, and Joe Lewis just comes out to the junction of his penalty box and grabs the ball and then just goes over to the right hand side.
I think Neil Lennon will be aware that the only way back for Hibs is to get an early goal.
Absolutely. I mean, if they concede the next one, well, it's all done and dusted. But Shinnie, they're playing it forward for Stevie May. May gets his body between the ball and Effie Ambrose then plays it off the Nigerian centre back. Out of play, corner kick to the Dons, only their second corner. Hibs won 4 in the first half, but Aberdeen found the back of the net 3 times, and it's May himself who's going to take this corner. It's not going to be the one that we saw earlier on, the O'Connor to McLean corner kick. May will take it with the right foot. O'Connor's up at the edge of the area, McKenna's there, Considine's there. Here comes the corner kick, and well, Bobby Madden, seeing a bit of pushing there from Anthony O'Connor as he ran towards the near post, blows immediately for the free kick.
Certainly can't accuse him of being a homer this afternoon.
Oh no question of that. Here's McGeoch. It's a slack ball cut out by Considine, but his ball forward is straight back to McGeoch. McGinn now turns neatly away from Graham Shinnie, stabs it across to Hanlon. Hanlon out wide to Lewis Stevenson. Stevenson infield to McGeoch. Square to Ambrose. Ambrose, well, put under pressure from Graham Shinnie and Stevie May, but got away with it. Still Ambrose gives it to McGeoch, and you can hear the crowd giving him the bird every time he tries to play himself out of trouble. But here's Whittaker coming forward for Hibs. Stokes knocks it out wide to Stevenson. Stevenson to Brandon Barker, who started the second half over on the left hand side. Swapped wings with Boyle in the first half and got no change out of Considine, similar to what he suffered against Shea Logan. But here's Stevenson. Back it goes, McGinn to McGeoch. Hibs being forced all the way back to the halfway line. Now it's Ambrose in possession. Everybody wonders what's Effie going to do now. He wanders forward into the Aberdeen half, gives it to Boyle. Boyle back to Whittaker again. But it's good play from Aberdeen. They're not in possession of the ball, but they're making sure that Hibs can't breach their defences. Here's McGeoch coming forward, but Shinnie nearly got in there, but Stokes gets it to Hanlon. Now across to Barker. Barker moves infield, stabs it infield to John McGinn. He knocks it across to Whittaker. Whittaker faced up by Gary Mackay-Steven. Infield it goes to Martin Boyle. Boyle back to McGinn. McGinn looking for a penetrating pass, but being forced to go back the way by Ryan Christie. Gives it to Ambrose. Ambrose all the way back into his own half to Hanlon. Hanlon out square now to Stevenson. Similar pattern to the first half. Hibs enjoying lots of possession but not really going anywhere with it. But here's Ambrose once again on the ball, crosses the halfway line, coming down the inside right channel, slips it forward to Martin Boyle. Boyle taking on Considine. Still Boyle plays the ball off Andy Considine. It's out of play for a corner kick to Hibs. Must have had about 90 seconds of possession there, but at the end of the day they've won a corner, but they didn't create any threat to the Aberdeen goal. But they have the set piece, which John McGinn and Barker are over at the moment. Looks like it's going to be McGinn with the left foot, delivers it into the middle. It's headed just wide of the post there by
Stokes.
Anthony Stokes. Decent corner, and somebody coming in at the back post could have profited, but the Dons had that area fairly well covered.
Yeah, but good defending, as you said, Andrew, from Aberdeen, allowing Hibs to play the ball back and forward, but it's also another extra couple of minutes.
Well, indeed,
gone.
that's 6.5 minutes as the second half have gone. We haven't really touched the ball very much in that period, but we still lead the game by 3-0, and that'll be a throw-in to Aberdeen. Just glanced off the top of a Hibs defender. Ambrose took a throw-in, but referee's given it to the Dons, so Boyle gives the ball to Andy Considine. He throws it into McLean. McLean forward to Mackay-Stephen. Back in field to Kenny McLean. Now O'Connor. He's got Shea Logan wide on the right hand side. That's where it goes. Forward looking for the run of Rooney, but turned away by Stevenson. Simon Murray now into the path of Barker, and a lot of open space for him to run into. Anthony Stokes is over on the far side. Still Barker coming forward, but then got lost when he reached the edge of the area. Simon Murray's claiming he was upended in the edge of the box. Referee having nothing to do with it. Aberdeen breakaway in the shape of Shinnie, who gets away from John McGinn, and now here's Gary Mackay-Stephen, plays it over to the right hand side. Rooney takes a poor first touch though, but retrieves it. Still Rooney coming forward, driving forward at Lewis Stevenson, cuts the ball into the middle. Stevie May, opportunity to turn, the shot's blocked, and Stevenson will get it clear, but only as far as Graham Shinnie, who brings it under control, moves away from Boyle, gives it to McLean, out to this near side to Andy Considine. Considine infield to Mackay-Stephen. Back it goes to Considine again, down the line looking for Mackay-Stephen, but it breaks off the Thurso-born winger and goes out of play for the throw-in, which is quickly taken by Whittaker to McGinn. McGinn now over the top, looking for the run of Simon Murray, but Scott McKenna read that situation well. Murray got his head on it, but knocks it behind for the goal kick. There was the appeal for a penalty at the edge of the area there. Simon Murray thinking that he'd been brought down. I don't think there's any question that he wasn't. And then when Aberdeen broke, referee played a good advantage, because I think, was it Kenny McLean was fouled by John McGinn, but he played the advantage, and but for a poor first touch from Adam Rooney, we could have been in once again.
You expect better from friends of Captain Kirk, don't you?
You do indeed. Free kick to Hibs. It's Effie Ambrose, gives it to McGeoch. McGeoch infield to John McGinn, gets away from Christie. Still McGinn, leaves it for Martin Boyle, stabs it back to Whittaker. Whittaker infield to McGeoch. Hibs certainly seeing plenty of the ball, and they've got Barker in possession over on that left hand side, attacking Adam Rooney, but Rooney does well, sticks a leg in there, and then Shea Logan goes across, but Barker does well to wriggle away from the two of them, plays it into the middle. It comes off the heel of Anthony O'Connor up onto the roof of the net, behind for the corner kick. But Barker certainly one that needs watching, Dave.
He is. He's very tricky down that. He took a while to settle to Scottish football, and but he's now looks well,
he's quick, and he's tricky as well.
Indeed.
It just sometimes
he seems well suited to the Scottish game as well.
Yeah. Left-footed John McGinn swings the corner in. Heads go up, breaks across to this near side. Hanlon picks it up, faced by O'Connor. Still Hanlon, leaves it now for Whittaker. He dinks it up towards the back post. Good clearing header from Kenny McLean out to the edge of the area. It's now back with John McGinn. Onto his right foot, swings it into the middle. Joe Lewis punches clear straight off the head of Anthony O'Connor. It's nodded back into the box, and then the header comes in from Effie Ambrose and falls fortuitously for Joe Lewis, who clears it up the park quickly. Stevie May's made the run. He's going to get in behind Lewis Stevenson. Stevenson comes back at him though, so May's progress halted just for the second, but holds on to the ball, knocks it back to McLean. McLean infield, Shinnie with a bit of space in the centre of midfield, gives it to Mackay-Steven, slips it out to the left to Adam Rooney. Rooney with a chance to take on Whittaker, gets to the byline, crosses, but it's too strong, and that just goes beyond everybody.
Greg Stewart about to come on, Andrew.
Out of play over on the far side. Yeah, Greg Stewart stripped, ready to come on. It'll be interesting to see what the change will be, as Hibs have possession but lose it because Anthony O'Connor wins that heading duel there with Simon Murray. The ball's forward, Mackay-Steven battling there with Dylan McGeoch, wins the ball, gets it to Ryan Christie out to this near side to the left. Rooney back to Considine, infield to Christie, a lovely little slip ball in, looking for Graham Shinnie, but well, Shinnie appeals for a penalty as he clashed there with Effie Ambrose, but I think it was more the fans were shouting for it rather than the players.
The fans and Graham.
And there Shea Logan slides into the challenge with Brandon Barker. The ball breaks off the Hibs winger. It's a throw into the Dons, and the change will now be made, and it's Adam Rooney who's being withdrawn from the action, and Greg Stewart will come
Adam
on.
deliberately walking the opposite way, pretending he hasn't heard Mellis announcing his name.
Meanwhile, Graham Shinnie is having a conversation with Bobby Madden, and Madden goes over and says to Adam, come on, get yourself off. So 57 minutes on the clock, first change for the Dons, and I think it's as much squad rotation as anything else. The change, I think Adams put in a decent shift again today, and I think possibly the manager just feels that the width that Greg Stewart might give us could be utilised or could be exploited.
Yeah, Greg Stewart, who will be disappointed not to have started, because he has been, in the last two games, he's been very impressive and more like the player we knew we'd signed.
And here he is, straight onto the ball, slips it out to the right to Stevie May. Ryan Christie was shouting for it infield, but Hanlon does well, dispossesses May, knocks it forward, offside flag goes up against Simon Murray, free kick to the Dons. Yeah, Greg Stewart, I mentioned earlier, he was in early getting treatment, so whether he'd taken a bit of a knock and the manager just felt that he wasn't going to get 90 minutes out of him, and thought, right, we'll spell him and give Rooney the first hour, and then GMS, or rather Greg Stewart, have the last half hour of the game, because there's a lot of games coming up, and that's when it's so important to have a big squad and have quality in the bench like Aberdeen have got.
Yeah, they have, and of course, at least there's no midweek game this week, but 3 games after this one between now and the winter break, and always such an important period.
Well, John McGinn loses possession in the middle of the park. It's Ryan Christie, gets it back to O'Connor, and in turn he slips it back to Joe Lewis. 59th minute of the game here at Pittodrie. Aberdeen leading by 3-0 as Hibs give the ball away once again. It's Graham Shinnie driving forward. He's got Shea Logan out on the right hand side. That's where it goes. Over it comes towards the far post, headed up in the air but far enough away by Whittaker. It looked as though Mackay-Steven was just waiting to pounce, but Whittaker got the important touch. Now it's McLean. Aberdeen relentless, driving forward when they have possession. Shinnie to Stewart. Stewart upended there by Barker. That'll be a free kick to the Dons, and a good area to get a ball into the box for the big men.
Absolutely ironic cheers from the home crowd as they don't feel Bobby Madden has been exactly too generous in terms of awarding.
I was going to say that's probably about the second free kick he's given us. It's taken short to Greg Stewart, slips it infield. Christie, shot deflected onto the roof of the net. Corner kick Aberdeen, but good quick free kick taken. Ryan Christie needs no second invitation to shoot, and that one took the deflection. Marciano happy to see it drop on the roof of his net rather than just underneath the bar.
Absolutely, and as you say, Ryan, he's so deadly from that distance as well, and Marciano, very relieved man.
Stevie May to take the corner kick from the left hand side for Aberdeen. Plenty of bodies at the far post. Greg Stewart right on top of the goalkeeper. It's played in short, cleared towards the edge of the area. Christie dinks it forward again, but everybody was coming out, and that falls nicely for Marciano, who gives it to Barker. Barker just ran out of pitch there. He got outside Ryan Christie, but
Ollie Shaw about to come on for the visitors.
That's their final change, and we're only in the 61st minute, so you've got 29 minutes to see out and hope that nobody picks up an injury, and it's Simon Murray who's coming off, so Shaw and Stokes, who both started the game against Rangers in midweek, are going to finish this game, assuming that they don't pick up an injury or a red card or anything. But Hibs going for broke, a couple of strikers on, but to be fair, they haven't threatened Joe Lewis's goal.
No, not so far.
Logan with the throw in into the centre of midfield to Christie. Gets it back from Shinnie. Christie driving forward, goes past Hanlon, ball's knocked square, it comes off defender, it comes back now. Graham Shinnie with the chance. The shot is blocked by Effie Ambrose. Back it comes now to Kenny McLean. He plays it over to the left hand side. Mackay Stephen brings it under control, nudges it past Whittaker, gives it to May. Back inside it goes. Still Gary Mackay Stephen, chance for the hat trick. Goal! Magnificent strike from Gary Mackay Stephen with the right foot. Clips off the keeper's left hand post, goes into the back of the net. 62 minutes on the clock. Gary Mackay Stephen completes his first Aberdeen hat trick. It's Aberdeen 4, Hibs 0.
And Gary joins Stevie and Adam as top scorer now with 5 goals.
He does indeed, and well, that's
what a move as well.
A wonderful move. It was a lovely flick inside from Mackay Stephen to Stevie May. He played it infield, and then it was left by Kenny McLean, I think it was, for Mackay Stephen, who'd continued his run across the box and had a really good finish with the right foot off the keeper's right hand post. This one you can't attach any blame to Marciano for at all, but look at the grin in his face. He is absolutely delighted, and he's such a nice lad, Dave. I mean, it couldn't happen to a more pleasant, more gentlemanly player than GMS.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know there have been some fans, and we haven't probably seen enough from Gary in consistency, but he's shown today what an absolute top quality player he is.
And here we come again. Ryan Christie bursting forward. He's got Shea Logan out to his left, plays it infield, looking for another defensive error, and offside flag goes up against Stevie May. Ambrose did well initially to intercept from Ryan Christie, and then gave the ball away, and now they've done it again. And here's Stevie May, back it comes to Christie. Christie plays it across to Greg Stewart in the edge of the area. Stewart taking on Stevenson, gets past him, but Stevenson does well, blocks the cross. Now McGinn knocks it long, and Scott McKenna up above Ollie Shaw wins the header. Here's Mackay Stephen once again, this time tackled and beaten by Ambrose. Whittaker to McGeoch, but how many mistakes are that Hibs defence making?
Yeah, they're their confidence is shot, obviously.
And they can't even win a tackle.
That's a terrible tackle.
Up from Whittaker, went flying in there, and Graham Shinnie gets a yellow card, and well, the Hibs team discipline defensively has gone, but there Whittaker just went flying in, and Graham Shinnie can have no complaints at all about getting the yellow card for that challenge. And Neil Lennon said his side was the second best to watch in the country.
Yeah, bad Celtic timing, Neil.
Yeah, absolutely, that's one that's going to come back to haunt him. 4-0 down to a Graham Shinnie goal in the 11th minute, and then a Gary Mackay Stephen hat-trick as Aberdeen come forward once again and look menacing every time they go into Hibs territory. Here's Mackay Stephen infield. Stevie May gets onto the ball, knocks it back to Considine. Infield it goes to Stewart, lovely little ball to Christie, back to Stewart. Stewart gets it again, chases it out towards the byline, knocks it back. May infield, but well, Mackay Stephen in there, appeals for a penalty, but nothing doing, says the referee, as Ambrose comes clear, knocks it out wide for Anthony Stokes. Stokes coming down the left hand side, faced by his fellow Irishman O'Connor, leaves it for Barker. Barker, probably the one shining light in the Hibs side today, leaves it for McGeoch. McGeoch to John McGinn. McGinn across to Whittaker, but Mackay Stephen nearly got there, but Whittaker gets clear with the ball, gives it to Boyle. Boyle attacking Andy Considine, plays it into the middle, it hits the side net. Goal kick to Aberdeen, 65 minutes played. Aberdeen lead by 4-0, and well, what a statement the Dons are making today, aren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, and again, so far, that's 1-0, 3-0, 4-0.
Absolutely.
Since the Rangers nonsense was put to bed. I think Scott Wright might be coming on soon.
Well, I think the game's won. That's it. Now the manager can think about, he's got a game coming up at Celtic Park next Saturday, then we've got Partick Thistle and Hearts here in the week after Christmas, and you know, he's going to give players rests where he can, and give others who have been sitting patiently on the bench an opportunity to go out there and show what they're made of. But here comes John McGinn, slips the ball forward, looking for Ollie Shaw. Good challenge from Scott McKenna. Corner kick to Hibs. Over on their right, it's John McGinn who's going to take the corner kick. Their 6th of the game. Left footed, swings it into the middle, headed clear at the near post by Stevie May, nodded back in by Stokes, and then headed powerfully clear by McKenna, picked up by Lewis Stevenson. Stevenson almost caught dwelling in the ball. It's McGeoch, gets it back to Ophir Marciano. Again, fine pressing by the Aberdeen players. They've given Hibs not a second's piece on the ball, and there's a slack ball forward, easily cut out by Logan. Now Kenny McLean, who's had another quietly very effective game, leaves it for Christie. Christie now to Considine. Considine forward to Shinnie, back it goes to Andy. Now Ryan Christie forward, but Shinnie will charge forward because it's Ambrose who's on the ball, and he knows that, you know, you can profit from errors there, but he got it forward to Marciano, to Whittaker, but they've given it away again. Here's Christie. Christie tried a shot, well blocked by Paul Hanlon, but there are so many errors being made by Hibs and gaps appearing in their defence that, well, they're going to have kittens watching this replay of this match. They've given it away once again. Shinnie in the middle of the park, exchanging passes with Christie. Now to McLean. McLean across to Considine. Considine to Mackay Stephen. He's bundled over McGeoch. That'll be a free kick to the Dons, and an opportunity for Scott Wright to come on perhaps here. We've played 68 minutes. No change being made just now, but I'm going to hand over to Dave to take us through to full time rather, with the excellent news that Aberdeen are leading by 4-0. But I'll just, before I hand over to Dave, Gary Mackay Stephen coming off to a standing ovation from all the Aberdeen fans for his hat-trick. Well deserved. Scott Wright on for the last quarter of the game, Dave.
Absolutely, and Gary Mackay Stephen quite rightly getting a standing ovation, and I'm sure he'll be the sponsor's man of the match unless something dramatic happens in the last quarter. But it's free kick. Scott Wright on, Gary off, Andy Considine to take the kick, plays it forward. Ambrose. Hibs can't get it clear, and ball goes out of play. That's a throw in to Aberdeen, which Andy Considine will take. Kenny McLean. McLean now to Christie. Christie come forward, threads it through to Graham Shinnie. Shinnie inside the area but forced to go wide, plays it out to Scott Wright, right into the middle. Stevie May with the header, bounces about. Kenny McLean's in there, so too Shea Logan. Logan does well, and then Logan is brought down by John McGinn, and well, that was a challenge born out of frustration, Andrew.
Absolutely, and he's being called to Bobby Madden. He's no stranger to a yellow card. John McGinn, he's had a suspension already this season, but a word of warning from the referee is sufficing. But yeah, he's the number one man at Hibs, and he's not had a kick of the ball really today. He's been so totally overshadowed by everybody in red shirts.
Absolutely. It's going to be Greg Stewart to take the kick, just about 23 yards, 24 yards out wide on the right, left footed from the former Dundee man. Over it comes, into the middle it goes. It's away by McGinn, only as far as Kenny McLean. McLean finds Scott Wright. Wright knocks the ball back to McKenna. McKenna through to Considine. Lovely flicked ball back to Scott Wright. I'm sure that going out, still in, and then a nutmeg on Stephen Whittaker by Scott Wright, and Ryan Christie comes away with the ball, knocks it back inside. Then Ambrose gets a touch, but Christie's got it again over to the far post, and that just evaded Greg Stewart, but it's now a bit of showboating, I think, Andrew.
Well, Rabonas from Considine, nutmegs from Scott Wright. What more are we going to get?
Indeed.
I mean, the fans who have come along to watch this game are going to go away absolutely delighted with the performance they've seen from Aberdeen. And it's great, isn't it, that, you know, there's the 2 games after Christmas when so many people will be back in Aberdeen.
Yeah.
They're going to have seen this on, you know, the pictures of this game, and they're going to want to come along here, so we can expect near as damn it full houses.
Absolutely, and you can be sure that Derek McInnes and the squad will make sure that their levels don't drop between now and the break, well, between now and the end of the season. But it's so important to get through to the winter break to recharge the batteries on the back of a good performance, and since the 2 Rangers defeats, it's been very much just that, as another wasted ball by McGinn's picked up by McLean. Gets it back from Logan, knocks it to O'Connor. Now McKenna out to Considine. Andy Considine down the line. It's a good ball. It finds Shinnie, who just chests it. Shinnie inside to Scott Wright. Right infield to Christie. And now McLean, but that's a wee bit loose. Stokes, poor ball forward. And off.
It's actually a correct decision, Dave. He was trying to play advantage. Scott McKenna caught Anthony Stokes in the ankle, and referee tried to play an advantage, saw that none accrued to Hibs, and has pulled it back for the free kick.
Don't think
I'm probably being generous to Bobby Madden.
With you, looking at his reaction. Here's McGeoch. McGeoch inside to McGinn. Back to McGeoch. And now Ambrose. Across to Paul Hanlon. Hanlon threads it through, and that's a good one to Ollie Shaw, and that's a fantastic tackle from Scott McKenna. Absolutely inch perfect, and it was in the area and it had to be, and it absolutely was, as Logan then clears his lines. May just leaves that.
It was a magnificent tackle from Scott McKenna. He saw the danger. He's so quick across the ground as well for a big guy.
Here's McGeoch for Hibs. Boyle goes round the outside, gets the ball into the middle, and took a deflection off Considine into the arms of Joe Lewis. 73 minutes played, Aberdeen 4, Hibs 0. So I don't think anyone had that in the predictor.
No. I think I went 3-1. What were you? 1-0. Tight 1-0.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Yeah. Well, it was at one point. Hanlon clearing his lines. Picked up by Anthony O'Connor. Shinnie. McKenna. McLean back to McKenna. Just taking Stokes out of the game there, and then Considine. Forward to Scott Wright. Now McKenna. McLean. DONS can still make one more change. Hibs have made all 3 substitutions as that ball comes off Lewis Stevenson and out for an Aberdeen throw.
I mean, GMS will get the headlines for scoring the hat-trick, but once again it's been an all-round excellent team performance from Aberdeen.
Last home game before Christmas, of course, as Lewis plays it long. Greg Stewart. Now Shinnie on the right wing at the moment, threads it into Greg Stewart, trying to play it back, but the Hibs defence got away with it that time, and forward comes Barker, who evades a challenge, a pretty wild challenge from Kenny McLean, as Stokes inside to Barker. Christie's with him.
Well, Neil Lennon said he didn't think you could get 90 minutes out of Barker, but he's going to have to today.
Whittaker. Now to Boyle. Martin Boyle, Dylan McGeoch. Boyle. McGeoch again. Boyle. Still Martin Boyle going one way then the other, and away by O'Connor. The cross meant for Shaw. Stevie May and Ambrose. Ambrose touches the ball to Hanlon. Picked up by Hanlon, and then all the way back to Marciano, the goalkeeper. Back out to Ambrose. Ambrose comes forward for the visitors, plays it short to McGinn. McGinn forward to Stokes, who'd made a good run off Scott McKenna. I thought it might have been hands against Scott McKenna there, but
That was a blatant handball by Scott.
here's Scott Wright. Oh, can't get past McGinn, but McGinn in turn loses out, but Boyle picks it up again, but again loses out this time to Andy Considine. Now Ryan Christie switches play over to the right. That's a great ball if Stevie May can keep it in play, which he can, just on the right hand side, cuts inside, but try to play it across, but Ambrose is there. Now McGinn, that's a great challenge from Scott Wright. Now Greg Stewart, and neither team able to keep the ball for too long at the moment, but it's Barker for the visitors. McGinn back to Ambrose, out to Whittaker. Nicky Maynard, I think, is going to be the final change for Aberdeen. Here's Ambrose. McGeoch. Still Dylan McGeoch. And that ball across is well cut out by Shea Logan, who finds Stewart, who plays him back with a neat pass. Christie inside to McLean. And now Shinnie. Graham Shinnie just turns. Christie, Considine. Right. Inside to Christie. Back to Considine. McKenna. Ambrose and May will chase this. Ambrose gets it forward to Whittaker, but Whittaker's clearance is headed back by Christie, and then Shinnie just breezes in, and the ball's gone out of play. It's a throw in to Aberdeen, and that change will be made now. Nicky Maynard coming on. Nicky's still a player that you do feel he just needs to get that goal. Stevie May he'll replace.
Yes, I mean Nicky Maynard, he hasn't really had too many minutes to make a mark, but I've seen him play for the development side, and you know, he works his socks off, and you just love to see him get a goal, because you feel that would be the weight off his shoulders, and in the same way as, you know, getting that first goal here today at Pittodrie for GMS. You know, look at what he's gone on and produced.
Yep, indeed. Here come the Dons again, in possession with Ryan Christie. Now Stewart back out to right. Back to Stewart. Stewart down beside the corner flag, flicks it into Considine. That's a great move, and away from Hanlon in the middle. Stokes, then John McGinn knocks it high into the sky. McKenna's underneath it, gets his head on it, and that'll go out of play for a Hibs throw as Graham Shinnie has gone down. Looks to be his knee is holding, and just after the final change has been made, Andrew, not the best time to pick up a knock.
No, he's a hardy character. Graham Adam Stokes is on there giving him treatment. You just hope that he's able to run it off in the final 12 minutes or so of the game.
Another real captain's performance from Mr. Shinnie.
Absolutely. I mean, his perpetual motion there in the middle of the park. There were a number of people that you know, were a little bit sceptical about playing Andy Considine at left back against Messrs Boyle and Barker, but Andy's been excellent today, as it is 99.9% of the time, and yeah, Graham just pulled up. It didn't appear to be, it wasn't a contact injury, it just he seemed to jar his knee, or his studs maybe stuck in the pitch or whatever, but I think he'll be alright.
Yeah, he's back on as Hibs clear the ball. Hanlon with plenty of room to move forward. He finds Stokes, gets it back again. Still Paul Hanlon. Looks to play it diagonally for Martin Boyle. Head of Considine clears it, but only as far as Whittaker, who plays it to McGeoch. Now forward to Stokes, touches it to Martin Boyle. McGeoch back out to Stokes. And shows too much of the ball to various Aberdeen players, and Graham Shinnie then clears it, but McGeoch heads it forward to Whittaker. Whittaker Can't get it past Scott Wright, who plays it off. Stephen Whittaker throw in to Aberdeen. We're inside the final 10 of normal time. Aberdeen 4, Hibs 0. And the Dons will move back to second place and do their goal difference. No harm at all.
I was going to say that the goal difference has taken a big boost today. The last 2 games, 7 goals scored, none conceded.
Well, Ambrose just whirls away from Nicky Maynard, which looks good when it comes off, but unfortunately for Effie, that's not always the case, as the ball's down the left-hand side.
He's an entertainer, you've got to give him that.
Indeed he is. Here's McGinn. Ollie Shaw, young substitute, very promising youngster. He manages to find McGeoch. Now Ambrose. Ambrose plays it through, but Considine, good play there, just allowed that ball to go past him and out for the goal kick.
Yeah, we spoke about Graham Shinnie moving back into midfield. Considine's been excellent at fullback, but the energy that Graham Shinnie brings to the middle of the park, he's overshadowed John McGinn. Kenny McLean has marked McGinn quite a bit of the time, but you know, when you're looking for players having an influence from that area, it's been Shinnie today who's won that battle against McGinn, absolutely hands down.
Absolutely, yep. As Greg Stewart does well to try and get the ball away from John McGinn, but is penalised for keeping the ball underneath him. Hibs take it quickly, and too quickly, because McKenna clears it, picked up by Dylan McGeoch. For the black shirted visitors, he finds Paul Hanlon. Plays the 1-2 with Barker. Hanlon. Now Barker. Anything Hibs get would be no more than a consolation. They're a very well beaten side today, as Shea Logan allows that ball to run out for a goal kick.
But and you can see the determination amongst the Dons defenders. They want to get the clean sheet.
Clean sheet, yeah.
Big Joe, to be fair, other than that shot from McGinn just before the interval that he turned past the post, has had a very quiet day, but that's all due to the fact of the guys in front of him, Logan, O'Connor, McKenna, Considine, and the rest of the team doing their job so well.
Flicked on to Maynard. Maynard back to Stewart. Looking for the run of Maynard. Cross comes Ambrose. Ambrose gets the ball away, picked up by McGinn. Now McGeoch. Still McGeoch. Stokes. Ball across, intercepted by Andy Considine, who finds Scott Wright. Back to Considine. Then ball played off Martin Boyle and out for an Aberdeen throw. 83.5 minutes played. Aberdeen 4, Hibs 0. Ryan Christie all the way back to his goalkeeper, Joe Lewis. Lewis, right-footed, clears it away by Whittaker, and then Christie gets it looking for Scott Wright, but just over the youngster's head and out for a Hibs throw, which will be taken by Stephen Whittaker. Quite a few fans of both sides making their way to the exits, presumably to beat the traffic or head back down to Edinburgh,
or get dragged out to do Christmas shopping.
It's always we know what it's like coming back from away games, Andrew. It always seems 10 times longer if you've been beaten.
It'll take about 3 days to get back down to Edinburgh after this one for the Hibs fans.
Throw in 2 Hibs. Whittaker, but picked up by Shinnie, and tripped by Anthony Stokes, and that's a free kick for Aberdeen. Easy decision there for Bobby Madden to make.
Chairman sitting in the crowd there with his black bonnet on.
Yeah,
doesn't look a happy man, but you can bet your life he's warm inside with this performance from his team.
Is he in disguise today, because it's not worked, because the cameras have spotted him? But no, he'll be very happy this performance, as Christie knocks the ball long. O'Connor, and at Considine! Oh no, it's offside! Anthony O'Connor with the initial header. I'm just watching again.
That's
not.
never offside. Never in a month of Sundays is that offside. No, I'm afraid Jordan Stoko over the far side, you got that decision wrong.
What is it with assistants? Here's
At the very worst, it was in line.
Yeah, Kenny McLean plays it through Nicky Maynard. Nicky Maynard tried the first time. Shot Ambrose, to be fair to him,
Yeah, you've
was
got to
there
give
to
credit
block.
to Ambrose. It was a vital block, otherwise it was 5-0.
So Nicky Maynard still searching for his first goal in a DONS shirt as Lewis Stevenson picks up the ball for Hibs. Back to Hanlon. Hanlon, long ball forward, flicked on by Shaw, got the better of Anthony O'Connor there, but O'Connor recovers quickly and shepherds that ball out for an Aberdeen throw-in. 86 minutes played. Thumped up the park by O'Connor.
You have to go way back to the 7th of February this year for the last time that Nicky Maynard scored a goal for MK Dons against Oldham. So he'll be desperate to break his duck.
Stewart over his shoulder, flicked on to Maynard, by Maynard to McLean, but Hibs managed to marshal the ball back to Marciano. Cleared and picked up by Considine. Considine long ball looking for Scott Wright, who's beaten there by Stephen Whittaker. Whittaker clears it, finds Barker. Considine with a header, forward to Christie, still Ryan Christie, looking for Maynard. Maynard gets the ball across, picked up by Logan. Logan to Stewart, gets the ball onto his left foot, going to try a shot, blocked by Hanlon. Greg Stewart again, inside to Logan, loses out to McGeoch. Now here's Barker, still full of running, but almost loses out, plays it back to Stevenson. Lewis Stevenson forced to knock it back to Marciano. Marciano out wide, picked up by Considine again now. Scott Wright. Scott Wright loses to Martin Boyle, who's thundering forward now. Boyle, over it goes, finds Stokes, then takes a deflection and goes in.
I think it came off Graham Shinney.
So Hibs get the consolation. Yeah, just watching it again. The shot comes in, it was Graham Shinney. And in fact, I think Ollie Shaw was in an offside position so if the ball had gone through, it wouldn't have counted.
Well, it's the only slight downside of what has been a superb performance from Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Slightly fortuitous, so Shinney scored at both ends because I don't think the shot was going in, so we'll have to put it down as a Shinney own goal.
So 4-1 for the Dons, but let nothing take away from what's been a tremendous performance. Here's Maynard, gets away from a couple of Hibs players, still Nicky Maynard, and then he's fouled. That's a free kick for Aberdeen. We're in the final minute. Considine to Christie. Shinney back to Christie. Christie now to McLean. Kenny McLean, ball's cleared. Stokes and McKenna. Good defending by Scott McKenna. Back to Lewis. Lewis back to McKenna. And back to Joe Lewis once again. Cleared by the Dons goalkeeper. Picked up by Maynard, but loses out to Hanlon. Stevenson rather. Lewis Stevenson coming forward. Now Barker. Barker beaten by Christie, who knocks the ball into touch. Throw in. And there'll be 1 minute of stoppage time. I think that's just to be kind to Hibs.
That is sympathy if ever I saw it from the officials. 4 substitutions in the second half.
Yeah, indeed. Ball played long and straight through to Joe Lewis. So just 30 seconds of the minute left. That'll be flicked long ball up the park. GMS confirmed as the sponsors man of the match.
Says Christmas bubbly sorted out.
Indeed.
I'm sure he'll be the BT Sport man of the match as well.
Yeah, not sure GMS is drinking that much these days. As the final whistle goes, and a comprehensive victory, and as good a performance. The only slight negative, the consolation goal, but Hibs couldn't even manage to score it themselves. They relied on own goal. So 4-1 victory, back up to second place. A hat-trick for GMS. Not a bad day's work, Andrew.
A magnificent day's work from Aberdeen Football Club today, Dave, you have to say. The game started with Hibs enjoying the bulk of possession in the opening 10 minutes, but once Graham Shinnie broke the deadlock in the 11th minute, from then on it was all about Aberdeen. A totally dominant performance, the hat-trick from Gary Mackay-Steven, and the unfortunate own goal from Graham Shinnie at the end, giving a scant crumb of comfort to Hibs, who were totally outplayed on the day. Magnificent performance from the Dons, and if that is a sign of things to come for the rest of this season, there is so much to look forward to, because they were just better than their opposition in every area of the pitch. And we've said before, you know, now that the speculation regarding the manager's future has been put to bed, we're seeing the side repay his loyalty to the club in spades. That's 3 very good wins on the spin, and let's look forward now to going to Celtic Park next week with a lot of confidence.
Absolutely, and of course throughout the day, the early kick-off throughout the day, we'll have a reaction from the Aberdeen camp, including the manager, and I'm sure Gary Mackay-Steven on his hat-trick, his first hat-trick for the Dons. But from Andrew and myself, a very good afternoon, and it is a good afternoon when you get the early kick-off and you can sit back and enjoy the rest of the teams battling it out. It finished here at Pittodrie, Aberdeen 4, Hibs 1.